Here's what's on your feed today. The anticipated June 12 rally draws fewer people than expected due to what a political pundit described as the absence of a strong trigger. President Marcos calls for unity on Independence Day while Vice President Duterte fires off a sharp anti-corruption message. China sanctions Defense Secretary Gibo Teodoro and his family, but he says he will keep defending Philippine interests. The remains of Ateneo basketball player Rene Baterbonia arrive home in Davao after the fatal drowning incident in Aurora. And in sports, Ginebra and TNT face off in a crucial Game 5 in the PBA, while the Knicks move one win away from an NBA title. Good afternoon, I'm Denise Tan. President Bongbong Marcos led the 128th Philippine Independence Day riots in Manila as other key events were held in Davao and other areas. For the details, we have mobile journalist Julie Baiza. Julie, let's start with PBBM. What was the core message of his Independence Day speech?
Denise, ngayong Independence Day, mayroon nga mensahe si Pangulong Bongbong Marcos sa publiko, maging mapanuri sa katotohanan, lumaban ng patas at isulong ang interes ng karamihan. Pinangunahan nga ng First Family ang aktibidad na bahagi ng 128th Philippine Independence Day celebration kaninang umaga. Kabilang dyan yung flag raising at wreath-laying ceremony sa Rizal Park at ang military at civic parade sa Quirino Grandstand. Sa kanyang talumpati, sinabi ng Pangulo na pagkakaisa raw yung susi para makamit ang kasarinlan. Ang tunay daw kasi na pinuno, isinasakripisyo ang pansariling interes. Aminado naman si PBBM na maraming hamon na kinahaharap ang bansa sa kasalukuyan, gaya na nga lang daw ng katiwalian at pagkakanya-kanya. Pero sa kabila niya, naniniwala si PBBM sa kabutihan ng mga Pinoy o ng lahing Pilipino. Kaya nga ang panawagan niya, wag daw sanang mapagod yung mga Pinoy na ipaglaban ng bansa. Marami na raw kasing pagkakataon na naipakita yung kakayahan na manindigan sa tama at bumangon sa pagsubok. Bukod sa First Family, Denise, present din kanina dyan sa selebrasyon yung ilang miyembro ng gabinete ng Pangulo, si House Speaker Bogie D at si Senate Pro Tempore Win Gatchalian. Nakita natin kanina pagdating ni Gatchalian, kaagad niya kinausap si Dina, nadat na niya na nga roon. At ganun din si Pangulong Bongbong Marcos na nakita nating nakipagbatian din at bahagyang nakipag-usap kay Gatchalian. Denise.
Okay, Julie, sa Davao naman, nagkaroon ng kanyang sariling Independence Day message si Vice President Sara Duterte. Ano naman yung sinabi niya dyan?
Sabi ni VP Sara yung pagnanakaw sa kalayaan, hindi naman daw nagagawa ng isang dayuhang bansa lang. Nagagawa rin daw yan ng isang opisyal ng gobyerno na malasindikato kung kumilos o magnakaw umano ng pera ng gobyerno. May sinagot din si VP Sara doon sa mga nagsasabi na siya yung pasimuno umano or nagsusulong ng panibagong people power. Ang sabi ni VP Sara, hindi lang naman daw niya gusto or nais yung posisyon o pwesto ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos. Sa ngayon, Denise, wala pang sagot ang palasyo sa mga pahayag na ito ng Vice Presidente.
And Julie, ano naman, pihit lang tayo ng konti. What is the latest security situation naman doon sa Palasyo, the Senate and also the House amid these security threats?
Denise, sa palasyo, standard rin naman yung ginagawa, katulad kanina kung mga papasok ng sasakyan doon, itatanong anong building yung pupuntahan mo. Wala rin mga pulis na nakadeploy sa loob ng palace premises. Sa Senado naman, based on our monitoring, mahigpit pa rin yung seguridad at saka patuloy na binabantayan ng mga tauhan ng NCRPO. Ganyan din sa Kamara na may naka-standby na security personnel, gayon man tahimik or payapa pa sa Kamara.
But have the authorities confirmed if credible threats to, or are these still part of just precautionary measures, Julie?
Denise, kung ang palasyo ang tatanungin, wala naman silang bagong inilabas na pahayag, kundi yun pa rin walang verified na information tungkol dito sa mga threats na ito. At kung makikita nga natin kung standard pa rin or gano'n, normal pa rin yung pag-check ng seguridad sa loob ng palace premises. Ang kaninang naging mahigpit lang actually is yung sa Luneta Park at saka sa Quirino Grandstand or sa Rizal Park. Kasi nga, una, maraming nagtitipon na tao at ang publiko kasi medyo dumadagsa at maraming mga pumapasok. Kaya kailangan salain at ma-make sure kung sino lang yung mga papasok doon sa VIP area o yung makakatabi or makakalapit lang sa entablado kung nasaan yung mga opisyal ng pamahalaan natin.
All right, thank you for that update. Again, that was mobile journalist Julie Baiza. Now, political pundit Ronald Llamas says reports of a large June 12 rally failed to materialize due to the lack of a strong trigger. In an interview with Morning Matters, Llamas explained that the recent Senate tension was not seen as an effective flashpoint, citing low public support for the Cayetano bloc. He said the absence of a clear trigger led organizers to put their plans on hold and reassess their strategy. The former presidential advisor, however, said a regrouping around the upcoming impeachment process in early July could be expected. Earlier, reports of a rally allegedly led by pro-Duterte supporters have surfaced.
Kailangan dyan may trigger
Yeah.
para ma-agitate yung mga tao or ma-inspire. Yung Senate ay hindi magandang trigger. Dahil makikita mo sa mga surveys at saka social media, very unpopular yung grupo nila Alan Peters at Marcoleta. Kaya mismo si Sara Duterte may distansya. Ang mangyayari dyan, maghanap ka ng mas popular na trigger. At tingin ko, naghahanda sila para sa impeachment.
Our former Ilocos Sur Governor Chavit Singson has been arrested for cyber libel. The warrant was issued by a regional trial court in Vigan City for alleged violation of the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012. Singson later posted a 60,000 peso bail and was released after completing required legal procedures. Following his release, Singson released a statement claiming that his arrest is connected to his criticism of the irregularities in flood control projects. Singson claimed the case is being used to silence him. And more stories coming your way when One Newsfeed returns. Stay tuned. You're still watching One Newsfeed. Welcome back. Ateneo de Davao University has opened its doors to mourners as it holds a 3-day vigil for student-athlete Rene Baterbonia. Let's get the details from mobile journalist Ivan Tarinque, who joins us live from Davao City. Ivan, okay, how has the community been paying its respects? And ito bang vigil, ito ba'y open sa publiko?
Denise, simula nga kaninang alas 11 ng umaga ay mahaba na yung pila ng mga dumalaw at gusto nga pumunta dito nga sa public viewing nga nitong ating rising basketball player na si Rene Baterbonia. Pero so far, kanina nakausap natin yung ilang kanyang mga fans at dumalo dito at talagang isa lang yung kanilang sinasabi, nakakapanghinayang daw yung potensyal ng batang ito. Yan yung paulit-ulit natin na narinig kanina. Pero ngayon, Denise, simula ngayong araw kasi is open for public viewing na itong mga labi ni Rene at ngayong araw, ngayong Biyernes, nag-open siya ng 1 p.m. and until 5 p.m. Pero kanina napaaga yung cut-off dahil marami ng tao sa loob at magkakaroon nga ng misa mamayang alas 6 hanggang alas 7 ng gabi. Pero Denise, itong misang ito ay private at for friends and family lang yung misang ito. Pero bukas naman, Denise, maagang magbubukas ang Ateneo de Davao para doon nga sa mga gusto pang pumunta at magbigay-pugay dito kay Rene. Bukas hanggang sa linggo, bukas ang Ateneo de Davao para bumisita yung ating mga kapatid mula 10 a.m. hanggang 10 p.m. At pagkatapos nga niyan, Denise, dadalhin na si Rene sa kanyang hometown sa Talacogan sa may Agusan del Sur. Denise?
Okay, Ivan, so far, what moments have stood out to you dun sa mga nakuha mong sinasabi ng kanyang mga pamilya, teammates, at pati na rin kanyang mga kaibigan? And idagdag ko rin, Ivan, yung mga pumunta ba dyan to pay their respects? Yan ba yung mga kaibigan niya dyan sa Mindanao o merong bumiyahe all the way from Manila as well?
Denise, karamihan nung pumunta dito, talagang kahit hindi man daw nila kakilala personally or relative, itong si Rene, talagang pumunta sila dito parang to pay the respect dahil nanghihinayang nga sila at Itong si Rene is talagang iniidolo dito sa Davao dahil ito kasi si Rene tinulong niya doon sa palarong pambansa noong 2025 na makakuha ng panalo ng kampyonato itong Davao Region. Yun nga rin yung panahon nga rin na nakakuha siya ng MVP. Kaya naman yung maraming tao at maraming taga-suporta dito talagang gustong-gusto makita at gusto rin magbigay ng respeto sa kanya. Pero kanina, Denise, nakita rin natin, nakausap rin natin yung dati niyang coach na si Jess Evangelio. And hanggang sa mga oras na to, Denise, isa pa rin talaga yung hinihiling nila at ng pamilya nga ni Rene na magkaroon na ng klarong sagot kung ano man talaga raw yung nangyari doon sa araw na yon sa Aurora. Denise?
But Ivan, aside from being an athlete, how are they describing Rene? Kamusta daw siya bilang isang kaibigan, bilang isang teammate, bilang isang kapamilya?
Denise, isa nga doon sa nakausap natin yung dating teammate ni Rene dito sa May Davao. And according sa kanya, talagang si Rene daw talaga yung tumutulong sa kanya to get into the senior team, the men's team. Yan kasi yung parang para sa atleta, yan yung isa doon sa pinaka-challenge, makapasok doon sa first string nung isang eskwelahan, lalo pa isang kilalang eskwelahan na talagang humuhubog ng mga players na makapasok nga sa mga collegiate programs na napakahirap gawin. Ayon sa ating nakausap na teammate niyang yan, talagang si Rene daw talaga is napaka-tulungin at talagang pinupush niya yung kanyang teammates na mas galingan pa at mas maging competitive pa sa kanilang sport. Pero isa dun sa talagang mamimiss raw nila yung bonding time nila with Rene, lalo na kapag naglalaro sila ng mga mobile games. Denise.
And Ivan, how are they reacting to some would say a lack of statement or lack of response from the coaching staff as well as the Ateneo community patungkol doon sa nangyaring trahedya na ito?
Tama ka dyan, Denise. Currently, yan pa rin talaga yung inaantay nung pamilya ni Rene, pati na rin ng dati niyang coach na si Jess Evangelio, na bakit hanggang ngayon wala pa rin nagsasalita, wala pa rin confirmation, wala pa rin proper na sagot or habang gumugulo nga itong investigation. Alam mo kasi, Denise, merong mga reports na online na lumabas na si Coach Tab will be releasing a video ng kanyang statement. Pero so far, hanggang ngayon, wala pang lumalabas sa video na yan at patuloy natin kino-confirm yung statement na yan. Pero kanina tinanong na rin natin yung kanyang dating coach na anong reaction na dito na kung sakali man nga na lumabas itong video na ito ni Coach Tab, sabi niya, antayin na lang daw natin kung ano yung magiging labas ng video na yan. Denise?
All right, thank you for those updates. Again, that was mobile journalist Ivan Tarinque. The death toll from the magnitude 7.8 earthquake that rocked southern Mindanao has continued to climb. Based on the latest report from the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, or NDR-RMC, the number of fatalities has risen to 55. More than 1,100 people were also injured, while 31 others remain missing. Authorities said nearly 393,000 individuals have been affected across parts of Zamboanga Peninsula, Davao Region, Soxargen, and the Bangsamoro region. More than 10,000 people are still staying in evacuation centers, while thousands of others are sheltering outside official facilities. The NDRRMC also reported that more than 19,000 homes were damaged, including over 3,000 that were destroyed or rendered uninhabitable. The House of Representatives has named the first 10 private prosecutors who will help handle the impeachment case against Vice President Sara Duterte. The initial team includes Bar top-notcher and former Presidential Legal Counsel Marforth Fua, graft and corruption case specialist Erwin Matib, litigation expert Justine Ann Lamarca, and fraud and anti-corruption lawyer James Brian Ali of Pecabar Law. Also part of the team are veteran litigator Lorna Capunan, senior partner Sonia Castillo, corporate and litigation lawyer Diana Lorenzo Singian, managing partner Lino Chris Capunan, and trial lawyer Bettina Zamora of Capunan and Castillo Law Offices. Completing the initial lineup is Amando Vergil Ligutan, a UP law professor and expert in labor, remedial, and public international law from Saliga Law. House prosecutors said the group is part of a broader legal team being assembled for the impeachment trial. The House is targeting a total of 25 private prosecutors to support its case. Now, China has barred Defense Secretary Gibo Teodoro and his family from entering mainland China, Hong Kong, and Macau. This stems from Teodoro's statements against China amid continuing tensions in the West Philippine Sea. Beijing called his remarks irresponsible, saying they harmed China's interest and its relations with the Philippines. Teodoro has repeatedly condemned China's harassment and actions in the West Philippine Sea. In response, the defense chief said he is not bothered by the sanctions. He said China has the right to take such action, but added that this is what Beijing does to those who speak the truth against its deception. Teodoro said he will continue to perform his duty. One Newsfeed will be back after this short break. You're still watching One Newsfeed. Welcome back. Metro Manila's last coastal frontier is home to mangroves and migratory birds, but waste and climate change continue to threaten its protected ecosystem. Mobile journalist Francis Rivera has the report.
The Las Piñas and Parañaque Wetland Park is tagged as Metro Manila's last coastal frontier because of its mangrove, birds, and biodiversity.
Within its 181.63 hectare area, 36 hectares are allocated to mangrove forest. Because of this, it has been recognized by the Ramsar Convention as Metro Manila's last remaining coastal mangrove frontier, serving as a vital natural storm barrier for communities living near the coast. It is also recognized as the first ever critical habitat established in the Philippines. Aside from its mangrove ecosystem, it is home to 173 species of birds and has been designated a wetland of international importance due to the presence of migratory bird species. These are just some of the distinctions and recognitions received by the LPPWP. To further protect and conserve the park, ongoing efforts include biodiversity monitoring, environmental assessments, and habitat rehabilitation programs.
Make sure namin na walang mangrove na dapat tinatanim dun sa mudflats. Bakit? Kasi kapag kumapal yung mangrove forest natin sa mudflats, mawawalan tayo or mawawalan ng feeding ground yung mga ibon naman, no? Yung pagtatanggal ng mga invasive species, yung mga iipil-ipil, yung mga lantana, aroma, kasi kapag hindi natin sila tinanggal, ma-encroach na yung ibang halaman, ibang habitat, baka masira din yung biodiversity.
In 2018, the LPPWP was declared a protected area under Republic Act No. 11038, also known as the Expanded National Integrated Protected Area System Act. In addition to climate change, one of the major threats to the park is the accumulation of waste from residential communities connected to Manila Bay. Park officials said that a large portion of the waste found in the area is transported by the tidal currents and eventually end up along the park's shoreline.
Nandyan yung patuloy na banta ng solid waste, no? Maraming basura from the entire Manila Bay na pumupunta dito sa LPP or inaano dito sa Las Piñas Parañaque Wetland Park, especially during the habagat season. Basically, nagiging catch basin tayo ng basura ng entire Manila Bay. At yung mga volunteers natin laging nandyan para tulungan tayo to protect the LPPWP, to make it clean.
Visitors can enjoy a close connection with nature through the park's various attractions, including bird-watching station, a bamboo situm, a birdwalk that leads through the mangrove forest, and a museum. Admission to Las Piñas Parañaque Wetland Park is free from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m., subject to an appointment system. To schedule a visit, guests only need to send an email through the park's official website. And as part of their conservation efforts, park officials are urging the public to practice responsible waste management.
Ang DNR and CR ay kasama nyo kami, no? Yung sa kasama nyo kami sa pagpapangalaga ng Las Piñas Parañaque Wetland Park. Yung panawagan natin sa mga tao na kapaligid, especially for those waterways, sana mas maayos at mas may sistema yung pagtapon ng basura.
Mga kapatid, mobile journalist Francis Rivera, we are One News.
And before we go, it's a huge weekend for basketball fans as crucial Game 5s await in both the PBA and the NBA Finals. In the PBA Season 50 Commissioner's Cup Finals, the TNT Tropang 5G and Barangay Ginebra San Miguel square off tonight at the Smart Araneta Coliseum with their series deadlocked at 2 games apiece. TNT enters Game 5 with momentum after a 106-98 victory in Game 4, powered by Jordan Heading and Chris McCullough. Meanwhile, Ginebra will look to respond behind Best Import Justin Brownlee and Best Player of the Conference RJ Abrientos. Tip-off is set for 7:30 p.m. Now over in the NBA, the New York Knicks are just 1 win away from their first championship since 1973. The Knicks take a 3-1 series lead into Game 5 against the San Antonio Spurs after a historic comeback win in the previous outing. Jalen Brunson, OG Anunoby, and Karl Anthony Towns have led New York's title charge. Game 5 is set for Sunday at 8:30 a.m. Manila time with the Spurs facing elimination. And that wraps up One Newsfeed, the only feed you need. I'm Denise Tan. Good evening.